What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You already read it on the title. We're gonna be checking out Chains of Love. We're on Charli Day today, and I'm extremely excited about this. If you did not see me react to the previous video for House, make sure you check that out. Click this link right here so you can check it out. I thought that was incredible. Honestly, one of the best music videos I've seen this year, without a shadow of a doubt. One of my favorite ones. One of the ones that made me feel the most, and it's crazy because it's actually a pretty short song. So as you can probably guess, I'm extremely excited about this one. We're gonna be checking out Chains of Love. This is also part of her soundtrack for Wuthering Heights, the movie. If you saw the previous video, I'll remind you real quick that I have not read the book, obviously have not seen the video, but the trailer for the movie, it's one of the best trailers I've seen in a long time. So I'm extremely excited, not only about the movie, but also about the soundtrack. So yes, guys, without further ado, let's get into it. But I do want to mention that I'm not going to be playing the whole thing without stopping. I'm going to be stopping here and there to analyze some of the technical aspects, some of the film aspects of the music video, and, you know, giving some creative direction analysis as to why they chose certain things and why they did, you know, what they might have gone a certain way. Of course, there's a lot of guessing. I did not work in this video, so please bear with me. So yeah, guys, let's do it. Let's freaking do it. By the way, this video, let's check out the credits real quick. This video was directed by C Sprints. I don't know who this is, but let's check it out. C Prince, New York, creative director and photographer. Wow, incredible work. I'm guessing she did some stuff for Brat as well. Oh my god, I love this. I'm really wondering. I wonder if they shot all of these videos on the sets of Wuthering Heights, because the same thing happened with the video for House, where the entirety of it kind of like looked like the movie. So I wonder, Mitch Ryan, I don't know if it's the same kind of like production team, but similar vibe where everything kind of like looks like it belongs within the same kind of like, you know, cinematic universe. And I love that. This I feel like that helps package up a project so well. I love the photography on these videos too. They have kind of like that Ektachrome blue-ish finish to it. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually shot this on 35mm.
I'd rather lay down in thorns. I'd rather drown in a stream. I'd rather let myself on fire. I'd rather wear all these scars. I'd rather watch my skin bleed in the eye of your storm.
Let me go back a little bit. I love that she's almost like on a Lazy Susan. So there's multiple ways they could have done this. But let's take it back a little bit more. One thing that I really loved about the initial kind of like, you know, we're obviously on a techno crane high up and we're kind of like moving down. Techno crane, it's essentially a crane that kind of like has this arm that extends to it. I've talked about it multiple times here in the channel. So we have the crane kind of like moving down, and I love the fact that they left the reflections on the glass, because it lets us see some of that beautiful detail that we saw at the beginning of the video from the ceiling, and I think that's beautiful. Another thing that I really loved about the intersection, it's that I love that Charli, one of her most kind of like unique features, it's the amount of hair she has. And to be quite honest, I'm not really sure if that's her actual hair, if she's wearing a wig or extensions of some sort. But in whatever case, it's a beautiful choice, because it almost feels like she's embracing uh, you know, all like the tangles and everything that kind of like comes with it, and it's such a unique characteristic of her because she's always kind of like whipping it around and just being kind of like herself with it, and I love that. Another thing worth mentioning is that after we move up from what looks like some sort of railing and we start moving down, it's all one continuous shot. So we picture this being the fence. We're kind of like doing this, right? And that requires so much planning. Such a difficult thing to do. You see? Like it's moving up and then it's going to start moving down. It continues moving down, it continues moving down, and we end up almost at a close-up shot.
I'd rather lay down in thorns.
The difficult part about the shot, it's not only the movement that's doing the technocrane or whatever robotic arm that they're using for this. It might even be a drone, if I'm being super transparent, because it might be a drone that they're using, but I'm gonna go ahead and say they did this with the technocrane. But that's not the only difficult part. The really difficult part for me, it's landing the cue, because notice how by the time the camera is kind of like locked in to an actual close-up, it's when her lyrics start. So that's the really challenging part for me.
I'd rather drown in a stream. I'd rather let myself on fire.
We're back with the slow motion. We talked about it on the previous video as well. They did such a heavy use of the slow motion, which contributed so much to what the vibe and the unsettling kind of like energy of the entire video gave off.
I'd rather wear all these scars. I'd rather watch my skin bleed.
I love this. I love the flashing. Again, very unique to Charli. If you've seen any of her performances, specifically Coachella, she had something that I thought was clever, and W creative director, whoever came up with this was genius. That her whole thing was about like the Brad Green, but like she wasn't like on that period where she was ready to kind of like leave it behind and transition into this new era of her. And I thought it was genius that the entirety of her visuals were just a CC cam, which is kind of like a camera following her around, and then just black and white. That's it. And they did a heavy use of flashing, and that's why I'm mentioning it here. Because if you notice, as she's kind of like rotating ballerina style, there's a lot of flashing. And I think it's such a like unique way of communicating, again, tension, or that we should expect something big to happen next. The way they hung her, she's probably like hanging from like, I don't know, some sort of like suspender ropes, and then they deleted them in post, or at least that's my guess. Because if you notice, it could have been done in a Lazy Susan, but her feet, her main feet, where her balance should be, it's always kind of like landing on a different position.
In the eye of your storm. Shattering like glass. It's a breaking of my heart. The chains are never cool. I shouldn't be like a prisoner. My face turning blue. Can't breathe without you here. The chains are never cool. I shouldn't be like a prisoner.
So yeah, exactly what I thought. It's what I think it happened. It's that she's being suspended by some sort of like holding mechanism. I don't know what the technical name of it is, but she's basically being held like on this midsection right here. And you notice like there's a few clips where she's kind of like rotating like this, and that's proof of it. Like let's watch through it a little bit. Specifically this one's. I mean, obviously they deleted it in post, but she has some sort of like harness holding her, so that way she can kind of like flip, and they're probably moving whatever's holding her on the top. And I'm not even sure if this is her. It might be a stunt double, but they're kind of like moving her around and then kind of like cutting it up all together. Let's go back and rewatch the entirety of the chorus because I thought that was great. And I also loved kind of like the knife vibrating and then kind of like, you know, piercing the wall. I thought that was dope. Again, we're also like, if you listen to the lyrics, she's talking about like being not wanting to feel like a prisoner, feeling like she wants to break free. We're dealing with the same themes as in the previous song. So again, have not read the book, have not seen the movie, but my wildest guess it's that it, you know, it's very much the subject matter of the piece. I love that. Again, we're also getting the wax and the candles from the previous. I mean, it's also a period piece. I don't think they had like bulbs and stuff back then, but again, recurring themes. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, you know the little kind of like old school ballerinas, bing, 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 bing. That's what they're depicting here. So I don't know if this is almost like a way to kind of like visualize her purity. You know, the porcelain doll, like untouched, perfect. And then we're also getting the contrast of that with everything kind of like breaking and going crazy around her, you know. And it's also again tying up a little bit with the previous video and the themes of the overall piece of feeling like a prisoner, almost feeling like the environment it's also against you. So just being stuck here, it's kind of like hurting you. If you see the all the knives and all the cutlery kind of like flying through and trying to like hit her, and she's almost like moving around trying to like miss it. We see the table kind of like slanted. It's everything is kind of like leading us to the same conceptual things, which is, you know, feeling like you're stuck in the same place, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to get out of there. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna run that back and play the whole thing through, but I had to stop. I love the slow shutter, which is reducing the amount of like images the camera captures to kind of like make it look a little bit dreamy. I love that. I love the outfit choice because even though it kind of like works with the environment, it also feels Charli because it feels disjointed and kind of like broken apart, which is I feel something that's very unique to kind of like the way she presents herself to the world. And I thought that was great. I also like the fact that the other chorus had a lot of like, you know, this is kind of like what's happening, and the second one it's a lot more performative, so we see her kind of like taking a little bit more into like this desperation, kind of like screaming, you know, out into the void, like please let me get out of here. But there's not so much of a this is what's happening, it's just her kind of like running around, which is also nice because it, you know, not everything has to be like, oh, like this is like this crucial or like this life-changing thing that's happening here, or like this is like this super important piece of the story. Like we're also like doing a music video here, guys, so I thought that was great. Especially like this is actually like a great shot to pause it, especially having someone like Charli be the center point of it, because she's someone such with such an expressive palette and someone so performative and so kind of like out there that it's like you gotta give it to her. Honestly, she's great at, you know, just showing emotion. Like her video for Party for You, it's a really good example of this. And this is also something that makes me think that they might have filmed this on the sets of the movie or on the locations of the movie, because if you notice the entirety of the video, it's kind of like in the same place. Everything happens in the same room, but they're kind of like finding interesting ways to kind of like, you know, move it around or show different angles or, you know, depict a feeling, which again, based on the concept matter, it's yeah, being stuck in the same place. Okay, so we have Charli kicking down on the glass table, table cracks, and then we see the glass almost like rise up. Obviously not something that would happen in real life, but it's such a amazing and cool visual to have, especially again when we're kind of like repurposing the location that much. And you know, pieces of me shattered on the inside. It all kind of like ties in to what I think it's the concept. We have her kicking down. We see the glass crack. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say they did this in post, but it could have easily been done. But I think they probably did this in post. But this is such a really cool kind of way to kind of like end it, and it's also kind of like a moment. It kind of like, right? It kind of like exemplifies the ecstasy of the moment of the song. And I mean, obviously, this was done in post. Looks beautiful, it looks great, but my favorite part, it's actually what comes right after this, where she's kind of like, right, she's almost like dancing in slow motion, and we see shatters kind of like on the foreground, on the background, and almost like on the camera, which gives like this really cool feeling, that to make it feel obviously like it's there. And it's cool because you see like some of them, like the glass kind of like the shatters are kind of like almost doing this, because if you notice, we have the ones that are right up the camera going down. We have the ones that are behind her going up. So it's almost like a trampoline, right? Because she kind of like hits it, and then some of them go down, some of them go up. Also, I love how they colored how they did the compositing, because the glass almost has this very similar color to the light outside. And if you even notice, like when they kind of like going through the window, a lot of them almost disappear, which makes it look like, you know, they're actually there. Oh, I love this. Again, Charli, so performative. I love it. And we see how she's kind of like cut, but we see the table being perfect again, which makes us think automatically, okay, this is something that's 100% happening inside of her, something that's happening in her head, in her imagination. It's kind of like weighing down on her, and it's hurting her. It's almost like, again, being trapped in this glass house. Everybody can kind of like look at you, but you, for some reason, you just can't escape. We're getting a reverse shot from the intro. So like wherever we started, we're ending, which is something that also happened. And they're even kind of like, yeah, they're pushing us down the fence. This is something that also happened. And I don't know if this is something that relates to the actual film, but if you notice on the house video, the video begins and ends on the exact same place, bookends. We've talked about bookends on the channel. If you haven't seen my video on bookends, go to the channel and check it out. It's great. But yes, bookends. I don't know if this is something that, again, relates to the literary kind of like piece to the text. Maybe the book ends and begins in the same place, but we're getting this pattern on the music videos. Like on the previous video for House, it ends and begins on the same place, and there was something very specific about this one where I mentioned that we're getting the camera kind of like rising from the fence and then pushing down, and the video ends by the camera pushing out and then hiding under the fence. So, I mean, there has to be some sort of like connection to that. It's 2 videos already, so I don't know. I guess we'll see if they drop a third one, or when they drop the movie, I maybe should make a specific video for the movie on the channel. But in whatever case, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If there's anything I missed or any kind of like sort of context that you guys might want to add to this, if you read the book or if you have more information about this, please make sure you leave a comment, sub up, like up. If you don't know anything about me, my name is Gara. I'm a multidisciplinary artist based here in LA. You can check out some of my work on Instagram. Make sure you follow me there. You can follow me also on TikTok, Twitter, Threads. I'm pretty much everywhere. Links to all of that are in the description. You can check out some of my portfolio if you're interested in my work on my website, leaving also a link to that. Sub up, like up, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.